So we'll go in here and we'll have this metro. It is going to share these two stations, and it's going to come down, and it's basically going to circle around this entire new area, which hopefully that works out. I have a sneaking suspicion that the blue line is going to get very, very busy because it's going to be the primary way out of here, as well as the two shared stations with the other lines as well. But you know what I actually could have done there? If I had the multi-track metro stations, we could have probably done a better job with those lines. Anyway, this area here I'm thinking is going to be... let me go for like a bright kind of... I'm going for like a pink on one of the lines. And then the other one is going to be... What line am I looking for here? Jeez. I have a lot of them. There's quite a few. 13. So 13 is going to be sort of a purple. So they're very similar colors, but just, you know, different enough so I can see what they are. So that's, yeah, that just adds into sort of the spaghetti mess that we have for these lines. It definitely doesn't, you know, you get around, all right? You'll get to where you need to be. I'm slightly tempted to make like a little shuttle that goes back and forth between like this station and that one, but I don't know how useful that is, or like this station and that one. Or like smaller loops. It's fine. It's probably fine. This area just needs to build, which is gonna take a while. It is definitely gonna take a while for this whole thing to build, but I'm actually kind of keen to see this all come together. I really am. I'm excited to see what happens with it. As for this mess up here, I mean, you know, I'm thinking I might take the palm trees out of it. Because we don't actually have that many palm trees around the place, and I don't like the idea of them being up a mountain. So I'm actually gonna take all the trees out. And I'm gonna redo them myself. So all of those can go. And, oh yes, I do need a district for the IT cluster. Let's see. Thunder Horse WX. Thank you very much for reminding me of that. Let's get a little district there for the IT cluster, which is actually going to have to be on the avenue. Otherwise, it'll be way too thin, I think. Yeah, I think this district would be way too thin if it wasn't on the avenues. IT cluster right there. And let's take that tree out of there. Let's figure out these trees. Let's start with a light set of bushes the whole way up the hill. I'm gonna try and stick to the grassy areas. I'll tidy it all up a little bit later on once we figure this all out. So a light little sprinkling of bushes right there. All right, that looks lovely. We'll go in for an even lighter sprinkling of whatever this is. Small beaches. All right. There you go. So a little light sprinkling of small beaches. That's probably fine. Let's do a little bit more of a sprinkling sort of in the middle here. Something like that. Let's see, what else we got? Alder trees. Let's throw some of those in for a little bit of contrast. The alder trees are just a little bit lighter. And again, this will all be tidied up. Like they're going in places they wouldn't go right now. That's totally fine. This will all be cleaned up. Just a bunch of happy little trees. What else we got? What else we got? We got these trees. We got the sugar maples. Interesting name. I'm going to go for a bit more strength on those because those are a little bit smaller and they will darken this all down a little bit, which is kind of what I want. So something a little bit like that. This also all needs feathered out a little bit in a few places. There's a couple of spots that are a little bit too dense. There's something like that. And immediately it is sort of hiding some of the crimes, right? You don't immediately notice, like, around this road here is going to need to be even more dense, but you don't immediately notice that there's, like, a bunch of nonsense going on around here. So I'm going to do some of the even bigger trees, specifically around the road, to try and just blend it in a little bit more. So yeah, you kind of... It is drawing my eye. Why am I talking like I know what I'm doing? I'm talking like I'm a pretentious artist. I really don't know what... I'm painting trees in city skylines, alright, guys? That's what I'm doing. That's my job right now. All right. But I think that actually, like, I actually kind of like that dense bit of massive trees there. I think that actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Just try and paint like a little band of them there. And maybe a little band of them sort of coming down here as well. Let me go for a bit more strength. And in here too, I actually should probably have them. This area is going to be zoned, but you know, I think in there I should have some trees too. I also probably want to get rid of all like the resources in the ground here, because I'm never actually gonna do much with the resources in the ground. But I think that looks all right. It's a forest. It does its job. I do want to bring the brush down a little bit though and start removing some trees, because there are some. I'm gonna keep like the resources up here and all the rocks and all that. So I do want to have like minimal trees actually on the rocks, just because I actually want to put some rocks in there at some point. So tidy this up a little bit, and tidy that bit up a little bit, and then up here as well can maybe just be slightly brought in. So the trees stay largely on the grass. I could do some extra detail with some rocks like this. That might be a little much though. So, well, it's not bad. It feels like a lot of effort to go to try and like line the entire mountain in them though. So I'll do a few. I'm not gonna do them everywhere. Do a few bits of like exposed rocks and boulders and stuff like that. So something like that should be fine. So just a few little bits down the side of the mountain. Probably want some over here too. So there. And just sort of around these areas as well. Yeah, I think that helps tie it all together. I like it. I actually like it. Something there too. And maybe one there as well. Or maybe I just want to blend that slightly. I think that works. We can put an actual like nature reserve type thing in there at some point. And that's absolutely going to be a thing. Obviously power needs to go up there as well, which is going to be its own thing, but we'll get that as well. But this whole area just needs to build. That's going to be the fun part here, is just waiting for this all to be constructed. That'll be yeah, that'll be a thing. In the meantime, I guess I should maybe look at doing some kind of fence here, because I guess we have the room to do it. So if I go for a park fence and I go like this, I guess this does give me the room to do it. So up to there, up to there. Looks a bit weird. It's a bit steep, but it's fine. It's totally fine. So that road does just curve the entire way around, doesn't it? Oh boy. Can I freeform this? I actually sort of can, which is nice. I usually can't. So can I just go like straight? No. Let's not do that. Straight like that. So I kind of just want this to to curve really nicely here. So something like that's probably all right. This needs to go kind of up and around. Right, so that's kind of bordering that, and then we can maybe do some trees or something to hide the fact that it just suddenly ends. So let's do like, I don't know, something like that, right? A couple of rather dense trees. I said a couple of little trees here. Yes, these are the smaller trees that we could be using. Yeah, definitely the smaller side of things. Let's try and just get a couple of the big ones in there to blend it, and suddenly, you know, there you go. Your road and the fact that the trees and the fences suddenly end, it's all hidden. There we go. A couple of little trees down here. Maybe go for a couple of these down here as well. And a couple of those. Just to bring it all together and tie it all together. Bunch of different trees in that space. All right. So yeah, that'll work. That's our road that leads up the mountain. I actually think it's kind of cool. I really do. I like it. Just need to wait in this whole area building. But from the little bit we can see, I actually think it's going to look really good. I'm actually really excited to actually see this build. And it's also going to be nice having some super tall buildings on this side of things as well. That'll be pretty cool. I've never actually seen these assets before. I've never actually seen these buildings. That's interesting. I genuinely feel like I've never seen those before. Huh. That's probably fine. What about the metro? Let's have a little look at that. So thus far, there's already a decent number of people wanting to use it. That's kind of cool. Up this way, there's quite a few people. Over here, there's a decent number of people as well. These stations don't all have power, but I think that will probably get some use. And I realize I could totally throw trams going around this whole area too. That is an option. Probably not a good decision, but it is an option. But anyway, we are gonna need some services in this area. Let's go ahead and get a... Yeah, you know what? Let's just throw a hospital there. Let's throw a fire station there. And a police station right there. So they're all sort of confined to one area, but it is going to mean that they all, you know, go out and do their thing. The vehicle for this one is going to be the Honda Goldwing, and I think we'll go for a Crown Vic. From you're going to be a red fire truck, and you are going to be... You know what? You're going to be the Mercedes Sprinter. Is what you're going to be. So we should see, yeah, Crown Vic right there. And eventually we'll probably see a Honda Goldwing as well, which is a nice motorcycle. There it is. And then from these guys, whatever. They'll have the Sprinter. So that'll be a nice little cluster of services right there. We're probably going to want to look at leisure as well. Because this area doesn't actually have any parks in it. So I'm going to throw just sort of an average park there. And I'm going to throw another one there, I think. Just to try and boost the area ever so slightly. Going to throw one there as well. And that'll cheer them up a little bit. And I guess while we're waiting for this to build, we could start working on the park that I wanted in here. So let me smooth this all out. So smooth it out so it's all nice and, well, not level, but nice and even in terms of the slope. And let's see if we can figure out a park. So, city park as per usual. Kind of tempted to go with a large entrance just because I can. I don't think we've used a large entrance, so boom, large entrance, why not? Oh, that's why. Alright, never mind. Boom, large entrance is gone. Small entrance, why not? Small entrance also doesn't really work because it's on a slope. Bulldoze, and small entrance right by there. That seems like a better way to go right there. So I love that. It's like, hey, here's a clever thing. Never mind, that didn't work. Let's just bring this around all nice like. And there we go. So Coleridge Meadows will certainly do for a name. We're going to need other entrances as well. So let's get these small ones and throw one there. And throw one there. And that's probably enough, but we'll get one there as well. So just a few entrances around here. We can bring all the paths in and stuff like that in a second. Actually, paths first is probably a better idea. So these two can connect together, no problem. That one can connect there. This one could go like that. And this one should probably sort of... Huh. Can I get this to go the way I want it to go? Which is there? That actually does work. That's pretty cool. I'm actually quite pleased that I'm saying actually a lot. I'm quite pleased that does sort of work, right? Like it's just in the right spot. I could have moved it, but that works. I don't want to put an entrance down there, though. Don't really want to put an entrance down there. I think this is all right. Slopes are all right. That could be slightly adjusted there. All right, let's put fences. I'm saying all right a lot, and it's bugging me. It's really bugging me. Okay, that's not good. This is going to be tricky. I'm not entirely sure how best to connect all of this. That's apparently it. That's apparently as good as it's going to get. Okay. That will maybe have to do. Unless I try and do this sort of thing. And then can I move the nodes a little bit? Let's see if we can do this. So you would go there. You would then go sort of there. And you would go there? So it sort of borders the metro station? It's not great, but I don't think it's that bad. Just move that along a little bit. I think a cheeky little tree over that, and it'll be fine. So just something like that, right? Cheeky little tree, just to hide our crimes, as per usual. Bring this up to the end, bring you up to the end, and connect them together. Connect you to that end, and connect you to about there. Alright. Now that's a bit too far forward, but I can make that work. Can I select the node, please? Alright, I'd very much like to move it, but it's being awkward. So is that in line? I actually don't know if it is. Let's just run this straight up to there, and boom. Alright. I guess we could just curve that slightly. That might actually be just the better option for this corner. So, that. That kind of works. I kind of like that. Okay. So that's our park. It's nicely surrounded with everything. Let's just put stuff in there. I don't really... Oh, I paused the game, didn't I? Oh, I need to not do that. This area is never going to build if I keep pausing. It just isn't. It just is not going to build if I keep pausing. Where can I put this where it's not going to look weird? I think at the top of the hill? Top of the hill, absolutely. As for... What's this? Restrooms? Bottom of the hill? Bottom of the hill. Absolutely. Okay. That's all right in terms of those kind of buildings. In terms of, like, a gazebo, I'd kind of like one of those in the corner. It's obviously ever so slightly raised up, which isn't great, but I can actually sink it down and just make it look a little better. A tree around that will, again, hide the crime. Totally fine. Not a big deal. In terms of a climbing frame, that could be slightly trickier. Let's try and put it beside the cafe. That actually doesn't look too bad. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm actually quite happy with that. Let me get a line of trees just going down there. That's not actually perfect. Let me just... I say not actually perfect. It's never gonna be, and I really need to stop aiming to try and, like, get them exactly perfect, but whatever. Let's go like that. So just a nice line of trees. We'll do the same here. And I just want to adjust that a little bit. If it'll let me grab the right part. There we go. So a little line of trees there, and we can technically do two there as well. This bit at the front's probably too small for the larger trees, so go for the smaller ones. And same with back here as well. It'll be too small for the larger trees, so go for the smaller ones. And let's bring those together a little bit, just to get one extra at the end. All right. So that'll work. That'll actually bring people in. That'll get people, you know, wanting to go to the park. There's a couple of facilities in there that they can hopefully enjoy. We can put some bushes in as well. Maybe do a couple of like trees in the middle as well somewhere, something like that. Maybe something a little bit down there. So yeah, that'll do. Adds a little bit of green space to all of that. This all actually does have power now as well, which is fantastic. This guy doesn't, but that's all right. This guy doesn't deserve power. Just give him buildings, see what happens. There we go. So hopefully that'll build and connect up that metro station. But the metro stations, barring that one, do all have power, and they seem like they're getting used. This one's obviously going to be the busy one. But I would imagine that bringing people down here to this station is what both of these lines are going to be doing. So hopefully we can get this built up quickly, because this is one of the last like dense areas that we're going to be doing in this entire series, just as a point, because we get this area down here to build. But this is one of the last dense areas. I got some buildings I want to put out here. I want to put some buildings over here. But those aren't going to be dense. This area in here is obviously going to be like, this will probably be like the last proper dense area right here. I don't want to do it right now though. Oh no, I tell a lie. There's this space too. There's like 3 areas that need built up to be super dense as part of the city, and then the city itself is probably done, barring like, you know, details and stuff like that. Like this beach needs tweaked. I actually realize I've realized I don't like it. I don't think it looks, I don't know. I don't think it looks as good as I wanted it to. I think the beach needs to be brought in a little bit. I think I might put some keys around this so it looks like a sea wall kind of holding up the amusement park, and then the beach itself is just quite a little bit more shallow than it is. And by shallow, I mean like it's massive. It goes from here way down, like it's huge. So I think the beach just needs to be a little bit, you know, more cut off here, just to make it look a bit better. There's something about it I don't like, and I need to figure out what that thing is. It could also just be the fact that maybe we want to do like grass there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. In terms of this area though, I am pleased with it. I mean, if we just do this, I just think it just does the part. It's the same. I did this on an angle for the same reason I did like this up here on an angle. It just means that the whole city's not oriented exactly the same way. Same with like this area over here and the curves and just anything like that. Having the different angles just stops it from all looking identical. I realize though, this highway is just not being used right now. So I'd kind of like to try and fix that. So let me bring a road out here. And let's just see if we can maybe... Let's just see if we can perhaps go ahead and get this nice and even. Now that highway is actually going to need raised up to do this properly. So that's kind of a pain. I don't really want to have to do this, but we'll raise that bit up. These nodes here are closer than those nodes. That's great. Okay. That looks a little bit better. That looks about right. That looks to be about the same distance. So those can all be raised up as well, just to give a bit more of a gradual curve. That actually, honestly, doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. So that's nice. Right. Now this is going to be quite close. This little intersection here. That's actually bad. We probably don't want to do that. Yeah, we most likely don't want to do this the way I'm thinking of doing it. What about a little intersection in here? What if we did it that way, where traffic would be merging on from the right side? That's kind of weird, but if I go like 20 and then try and raise this up a little bit, so this node needs to be more like there, and it needs to be more, let's see. Well, no, this one needs to be in line with that part. Oh, this is weird, isn't it? So you need to be in line there, and then raised to that height, right? This one can be brought back to about midway through and raised up like that. So then I just need to try and figure out a way to very, very nicely connect these. Like that, obviously. No, that's definitely not staying. Let's just raise up those bits of road and let's just figure this out. So I think there's a solid chance that that's maybe a bit steep of a turn. Does technically work though. I think what I'm going to do is change it to be like that. And this bit in the ground is it raised up? I don't actually know if it is. I think it's just going to be one lane though. I think that might be the way to do it. So one little lane, you can sort of get up onto the highway there. And, sure. That's fine. So that's gonna be a way to like get up onto there. As for a way to go from this side, I mean that's gonna be a whole nother thing. I don't know the best way to do this. I just don't know what the best way to do this is right now. This needs to go 19 though. This might not be ideal. It really might not be. Maybe that is just a merge point for the highway. And then maybe down here we go like 19. And then curve it in a little bit. Like that. That actually didn't work. That's fantastic. I said curve it like that, I guess. And raise it up. So raise it up to there, raise this up a little bit, and that's a way to get onto the highway in that direction. I mean, it's not ideal, and I could have put this road on that side, but it would have given us a very, very small little section of road here that would have caused some problems. So I think I'm gonna have to allow that for the time being. Not really sure what traffic's gonna do with that, but we'll figure it out. And I think, honestly, I might just do the same in this direction as well and just see what happens. I think I'm at the point where I'm curious. I don't think this is a good idea. I'm just genuinely quite curious about what's going to happen here. So, do that. Obviously, raise it up to be the same height as everything else. So you go to that height. You go to that height. I'm going to move back a little bit. And then that height. You go to there. And you go to right about there. Yeah, that looks hideous. That looks disgusting. But I'm going to allow it for the time being. Can I lower these down a little bit? Just slightly. So they go up and over. That's all right. You need to be turned that way, and you need to be turned that way, and you need to be fixed, because I don't know what's going on with that. That fixed it. All right. That'll do, I guess. Oh boy. I'm not looking forward to seeing what traffic does with this nonsense. It's neat. It's just, yeah, this is going to be a thing for sure. Hopefully traffic will actually opt to use that. This guy here is actually keen. That's a cop. That's why. All right then. Let me smooth that out. Let me give that just a little smooth under there to try and fix it a little bit. Of course, industrial traffic, always keen for a good bit of road there. All right, well, I mean, that's a highway connection. If I ever did see one, we probably want more than just the highway connections that we got, because right now it makes no sense for them to go like up here, right? We're gonna need things out here to get them to actually use the entire stretch of highway, because I do want them to use the entire stretch. I really do, because I think it would look awesome having a bunch of cars like going right down around here. So I'm gonna have to build something out here. I just don't know what that something is yet. We'll get to that when we get to it. We could actually do. Oh, would that be ridiculous in like the shadow of the palace to do like garbage disposal out here. Because we could do that. That is an option. That is definitely an option. Anyway, I realized I forgot to do something. I forgot to do cable cars. So, let's figure that out, I guess. Cable cars could actually go in here-ish. What if we did that? Hold on. So tear out these buildings. Let me tear out all of these buildings from this little tile. D-zone the entire thing. And then let me also do a little bit of like painting here real quick. So brush size, make it really small. Let me just like paint this. And then do like a tree. Just so that like weird gap doesn't exist. Do like a tree, right? So now you can't really see that it's weird. Let me take the resources out of here as well, whatever it is. I have no idea what it is. There we go. So do that as well. In fact, you know what? Take it out of all of this area. I'm going to keep it on the hill, but I'm going to take it out of all of here. Just because I don't think it looks very good. So all of that can go, all of that can go. And that just looks a little bit better. But this right here, I'm thinking cable car. I'm thinking, you know, trees and details and all that around it. But then a cable car just goes straight up the hill to the palace, which might not look right. What is this? End of line cable car stop. That's actually what we need. And I am not sure what way to put it. Because this is a pass-through one, isn't it? Yeah. So we need an end-to-end cable car system, which is what that is. And you go... Do we want it to go straight to the palace or like to here? I feel like it would go. I feel like it would go to here. I feel like it wouldn't go straight to the palace. I feel like it would be like on its own little bit here. So something like that, right? Obviously, the hill and the cliff and all that is a little ridiculous, but that's. I feel like that's probably how it would go. I don't think it would go straight to the palace. I think it'd be down the hill a little bit. I also feel like we would maybe want to stop somewhere along the road, but there's nowhere I can place one that's not going to be ridiculous. So let's just see what happens if I go from there to there. You know, that's actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. It's maybe a little steep, keep in mind, but nowhere near as bad as I thought. That's as I imagined it would be. Interesting. I mean, it kind of needs to not be quite as steep, I think. So maybe bring it back slightly. So to about there. Can I get this to like actually work? No. Looks weird now. So out to there, up by maybe 2. And then I think I'm gonna bulldoze the line and just place it again. Just so it's a little tiny bit less steep. And maybe here as well can go out to about there. And then we just connect to the 2 points. So that I think is a little bit better. It's still very steep, but I don't think it's bad. And I think we could maybe lower a few points of it. Just ever so slightly. Just to make it a little bit less ridiculous. And interesting that there's like a node there, which doesn't exist. Why are we getting nodes that don't exist on this? That shouldn't be a thing. There's no reason that would not, like there wouldn't be, okay. I'm actually really weirded out by the fact that there's like non-existent nodes on this. Well, existent nodes, but like the pillars aren't there. That's really strange. Huh. Okay, whatever. We'll do, we'll just sort of straighten it out so it doesn't look quite as dumb. It's gonna look dumb because there's still like some sagging going on in the lines, but whatever. I really don't know why it's doing that though. Yeah, that's probably about as good as that's gonna get. Sure. But there's no node there. That's fine. That'll do. It connects up nicely. So yeah, we can do something with this. Maybe do some trees, do some kind of park. Just do something nice here to fill up the space. Let's go for... We can do a climbing frame. We can totally do a climbing frame. There you go, climbing frame. You have to climb to get into the park to begin with. Oh my god, that seesaw. Just... like... Alright, Timmy, you want to go in the seesaw? Just don't fall off, you'll die! Yeah. That's probably not too safe, is what that is. Let's just do some trees. Let's just dot some trees around here. Cause, yeah. This whole bit is kind of weird. So, something like that. And just try and like cover all of it. So yeah, I think that's all right. Let me bring that in a little bit so we can get just one extra tree up there. Just surround it in trees, and then, as always, just kind of hide the crimes with a few bushes and a few bits of rock and all that. So a few just large bushes there. Throw a few of the smaller ones in with a high-strength brush. And then maybe a, yeah, something like that. That looks alright. It's not perfect. It's kind of... It's kind of messy, but I think it'll do. And the cable cars are, you know, away on business, right? They're away to do their thing. I would really doubt anyone's actually going to come up here, because that's obviously... There's no power, right? There's not a lot of reason. We could actually run power up here, though. And I think I'm actually going to do this, because it seems like it would make sense. So we're going to run a rural... Oh, I hate that word. We're going to run a rural power cable up here. I hate the word rural so much. It was not designed with my accent in mind at all. It really wasn't. Move that out a little bit. Move you to there. And we're going to try and just have this follow the road down. I know it could just go directly down the mountain, but I'm just going to do it this way because I think it looks all right. Like, I think having it follow the road in terms of maintenance, like if someone had to do maintenance on the on one of the pylons, they would probably want it along a road for ease of access. So that's me thinking, right? And I'm gonna bring it right down towards the entrance. See about there. All right. So there you go. We got the power, which is connected. Hello? Hello? Did I miss one? What? Hello? Why do you not have power? What's going on here? What is going on with this one? That's a bit weird. Bulldoze, and straight there. Is there like a limit? Right. Interesting. Oh, there we go. That was weird. That was kind of weird. I want to lower these down a little bit. as well, because I feel like they're way too high up. There's no reason for them to be that high up at all. That actually kind of bugs me a lot. Yes, it's gonna get rid of some trees, but I think, you know, you probably want your power lines to be a little... If you're already going way up a mountain, you might as well, like, not be climbing power lines all that much. Like, some of these are 2 times as high as they need to be. Although that is also putting the power lines quite low in a few spots. Like, as in within jumping height in some cases. I want to go swing on the cables. Okay. Okay. Oh. All right then. Just don't. You have to. Oh. Some shocking results gonna come of that one. Timmy. Yeah, mad lad. Classic Timmy. Just wanting to swing on power cables and go on the 20-foot high seesaw. That's that's just what you want. Let me see. I think, are these really all raised up the entire way? They are. Yikes. Ay, ay, ay. All right. We'll keep these one. We'll lower these ones as well. It's getting rid of trees. I think these ones can maybe stay a little bit higher. No, because then the trees would grow at them. You don't want trees underneath your power cables, because then the trees are going to grow up and come into contact with your power cables, which is probably a thing you don't want as well. That's how you get highly electrified trees. That's how you suddenly wind up with Lord of the Rings style Ents, but with like lightning powers. And believe me, you know, I've played a lot of video games, right? I've played a lot of video games. You don't want Ents with lightning abilities. You just don't. The last thing you want. I don't think I've ever played a game that has Ents with lightning ability, but that's beside the point. I've played enough games that I can imagine. All right. So I don't know if anyone's actually gonna, I don't know if they're actually gonna use this, but that's neat. I like this. I'm actually really happy with this. And I want to see what it looks like when it's actually built.